There's a moment every tennis player knows too well. You hit freely, confidently, even beautifully during practice. Your strokes flow. Your timing feels natural. Your body is loose. Your mind is calm. Maybe you even feel a little proud of yourself. In practice, it feels like you're finally becoming the player you always wanted to be. But then the match comes, and suddenly everything changes. The freedom disappears. The ball feels heavier. Your muscles tighten. Your thoughts accelerate. A shot you could hit effortlessly just hours ago now feels impossible. And you find yourself asking the same painful question again. Why can I play like a champion in practice, but fall apart in matches? The truth is, you're not alone. Every player, from beginners to club competitors to professionals fighting for ranking points, has felt this split inside themselves. There is nothing wrong with you. There is no failure in this struggle. What you're experiencing is the intersection of emotion, expectation, pressure, and identity. Tennis doesn't just test your technique. It tests your nervous system, your self-worth, and your relationship with fear. So let's explore gently, with honesty and compassion, why practice feels easy and why matches feel heavy. In practice, there is no judgment. That freedom alone changes everything. No one is keeping score. No one is evaluating you. There is no pressure to prove anything. Not to your coach, not to your partner, not to yourself. You're not trying to impress anyone or maintain an image. You simply hit the ball. Movement becomes instinctive. Mistakes have no emotional weight. They come and go like waves. You feel safe. But matches carry a different energy. The moment you step into a competitive environment, the brain shifts into protection mode. Suddenly, everything matters. Every swing feels tied to something larger. Your reputation, your self-esteem, your sense of belonging, your fear of letting people down. When the outcome matters, your nervous system perceives threat, even if logically you know it's just a match. Your body responds as if survival is at stake. This is why your muscles tighten, why your breathing shortens, why your hands feel shaky, why your mind overthinks. It's not failure. It's biology. In competition, your brain's primary job is not to help you play your best tennis. Its job is to protect you from emotional pain. And emotional pain, in tennis, often comes from fear of losing, fear of judgment, fear of disappointing people, fear of not looking good enough. So when you ask, why do I play so well in practice but not in matches? The real question is, why does pressure change me so much? Pressure introduces expectations, your own expectations, and the expectations you think others have for you. You begin trying to avoid mistakes instead of creating opportunities. You stop taking risks. You stop trusting your instincts. You stop swinging fully. And the tragedy is that the version of yourself you most want to bring to the match never gets the chance to appear. Practice you and match you are not different players. They are different emotional states. Practice you feels safe. Match you feels watched. Practice you plays to learn. Match you plays not to lose. Practice you moves freely. Match you moves carefully. Practice you trusts. Match you doubts. This emotional shift is subtle but powerful. It creates tension in the body. Tension slows your movement. Slow movement leads to late contact. Late contact leads to mistakes. Mistakes lead to fear. And fear spirals into frustration. Suddenly you're in a loop, not because your technique changed, but because your mind did. But let's look deeper. Why do matches feel so personal? Why does the scoreboard have such emotional power? Why does the fear of losing create so much chaos inside you? Because tennis is not just a sport for you. It's a part of your identity. When you play badly in a match, it feels like a judgment of who you are, not just how you played. When you lose, it feels like you failed, not just at tennis, but at something deeper inside yourself. That's why practice feels free and matches feel suffocating. Practice feels like expression. Matches feel like evaluation. This difference is the root of the problem. During practice, your focus is on the ball. During matches, your focus is on yourself. That internal focus, worrying about how you look, what others think, what the result will be, pulls your attention away from the present moment. And tennis is a sport that punishes even the slightest mental drift. But here's the truth you may not have heard. The problem is not your technique. The problem is not a lack of talent. The problem is not weakness. The gap between practice and match play is emotional, not physical. You can fix it, but not by forcing yourself to be less nervous or relax. You fix it by understanding your mind, not fighting it. When you recognize that your anxiety is a sign of caring, not a sign of failure, you begin to soften. When you understand that your fear of losing comes from wanting to feel valued, not from lack of courage, you begin to breathe. When you see that competition triggers old emotional memories, moments where you felt judged, embarrassed, or inadequate, you begin to separate the past from the present. And slowly, Matthew starts feeling safer. When Matthew feels safer, Matthew relaxes. When Matthew relaxes, Matthew starts looking a lot more like practice you. Imagine stepping into a match not to prove who you are, but to explore who you are becoming. Imagine treating matches as opportunities, not examinations. Imagine allowing yourself to miss, to adjust, to adapt, to play. Imagine trusting the hours you've put in, instead of questioning every decision. The truth is this: you don't need to force match you to become practice you. You need to remove the fear that blocks practice you from showing up. And now, before we close, I want to speak directly to the part of you that feels frustrated, disappointed, or ashamed of how you perform in matches. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are not mentally fragile. You are simply human. Every player struggles with the shift from freedom to pressure. Every player fights the urge to protect themselves. Every player has wondered why their game collapses when it feels like someone is watching. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are learning the emotional side of tennis, a side no coach teaches, but every player must face. And now here is your CTA. If this episode helped you understand yourself more deeply, I invite you to subscribe to the channel for more tennis psychology insights that speak directly to what you feel on the court. Share this episode with someone who struggles with nerves, confidence, or match stress. They may need this truth as much as you do. And in the comments, tell me honestly, why do you think you play better in practice than in matches? Your story might help another player realize they are not alone. Together, we can build a community of players who play tennis not with fear, but with understanding, compassion, and emotional honesty. And now, the closing message. You are not the nerves you feel in matches. You are not the heaviness in your chest, the tightness in your shoulders, or the shakiness in your hands. You are the player who loves the game. You are the player who shows up to practice with hope. You are the player who tries, who cares, who dreams. Practice you is not a fantasy. Practice you is the real you, free, intuitive, expressive. Matches do not take that away. They simply add pressure that you are learning to navigate. And as you grow emotionally, the divide between practice and competition will begin to close. You do not need to become someone else to play better. You only need to give yourself the safety to be who you already are.